So if you're looking here, I just started the live from here. So I'm going to hand this to CJ. Anyway, so Grant and I are going to wander through. Now, we're going to stop at Electrronic because we're here, and they've got some cool stuff to show. And then we're just going to wander around.
It's going to be fun.
A lot of times we've had a lot of feedback that people just like to see the place. So what we're going to do is just see the place. Give us comments inside of Mukana if you're in there to let us know how the audio sounds. So one thing you may notice, if you're listening on a mobile device or an over-the-top box,
like an Apple TV,
like an Apple TV, or
built-in apps in TVs.
I think so. And if you have 5.1 or surround, you should hear some surround. So that's and this should still come down. It should be folded down into stereo at least. But I think that it'll be fascinating to see what you think of it. It's an experiment. What we're doing is we're using an actual a DPA 5100. So that is a surround mic. It's an actual 5.1 mic. So
that's great.
So here we go. So let's walk on over. So we're going over here. Yep.
Alex is going to have a little chat to Electrronic.
And we're going to sneak over here real quick. Now we've got a couple people where we've been kind of starting and stopping here, so Carl might be needing to finish something here. But here we go. We're with Carl Winkler from Electrronic. Hey, Carl.
How are you? Good to see you, Alex.
Good to see you too. It's good. Now it's another year. What have you done with yourself for the last year?
Oh wow. Well, I could tell a lot of stories.
So you've got a new transmitter.
Yes, the DSSM. We actually showed this briefly last year, but now it's been started shipping in January. And this is what I would call the first general purpose transmitter that's also watertight. So we got an IP57 rating on this, which means it could be submerged for over a half hour in a meter of water, which is considerable. In fact, we're showing it here in the fishbowl to demonstrate its true watertight nature. And this one's live and transmitting. We can listen to it on the receivers in the booth.
That's awesome.
But not only that it's watertight, the fact that it's small, very rugged, it's got dock charging capability or drop-in charging, and it's digital, so it's got our D2 mode and high density mode. If you've got like a TV studio situation.
How does high density change it?
It makes a narrower carrier and low power, so it's for controlled environments like a studio, where you really need to get a bunch of channels into a tiny space. So let's say you've only got one TV channel open in your location. Well, we fit over 24 channels of this HDM into that tiny bit of spectrum.
And it doesn't go very far. It doesn't go as far, but it lets you have more mics in one place.
Exactly. It wouldn't go as far as you. I'll tell you this. It'll go farther than you think. We did a walk test. I made a little video with me walking about 75 yards away outside behind our machine shop. No dropouts.
And this is the water. This is the. I think this is one of the proof is in the pudding here. So that is one of the transmitters.
This is one of these. And like I say, it's on and transmitting underwater. It's been there all day so far. We'll have it under there for the 4 days of the show, and we know it won't fail because we've done it before.
Right. Very good. Yeah. And now you also have some new software.
Yeah. Let's take a look at Wireless Designer.
Okay, so tell us what we're looking at here. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, so tell me what we're looking at here.
Sure, so what we have is Wireless Designer software. It's our basic system monitoring, programming, and frequency coordination.
So now this talks with these the transmitters?
Yeah, it'll talk with our base station transmitters for IFB, for instance, and our multi-channel digital receivers, and even our portable digital receivers. All can be connected to Wireless Designer, and we can be monitoring all the channels that are active. We can set up a frequency coordination, which is a way of choosing frequencies so they don't interact with each other. And it'll do like a scan using our receivers to see what's in the local spectrum. So it does all those things, but what's new is the fact that we can create and edit frequency groups, which means that you could select some frequencies that don't interact with each other, and then assign them to your channels of your receivers, and create a group where you've named each of the channels by, let's say, the talent's name. Then when I go to my receiver, I can scroll through those channels by the name.
Not by the receiver itself.
Not by the frequency number or something, So it's a lot easier to say, oh, I need to have Jenny on this channel, and you pull up Jenny's name, and there you are. And that's really handy for the portable receivers when you're in the field working and you've got a tiny interface and you've got a lot of channels to deal with, like reality television or a documentary where you have more than one person commenting at any time. So that's the flex list and frequency groups, so you can create and edit those groups in the software, and then via network or via USB, blow it into the units themselves, and then share that data with the transmitters if you want to do that too. So transmitters can have a group in them as well.
So no one has to do anything at the transmitter level.
Yeah, they can just simply pick it by, it's a preordained list, so you don't have to scroll through all the frequencies. You can say, okay, I need the second one, or I need the third one.
That's
so
great.
The latest software. And then one last thing I want to show you. This is a little bit of hardware, and for anyone who's working in a bag, like your sound mixer here, this is a way of organizing your portable receivers in a tidy way. And this is called the bag frame. We make two different sizes, a 2-slot and a 3-slot, and 3 different heights for different size bags. The idea being you could put any one of our portable receivers all the way from the old UCR 411A, all the way to the SRC, all the way to the latest, the DSR4 4-channel unit. So we make little mounting kits that you would choose to go with a particular receiver, and then this way they stay organized in the bag. And this is all aluminum, but very, very lightweight and very rigid. So that's the bag frame. And there's a promo going on these right now. If you buy a couple digital receivers and transmitters, we'll throw in a bag frame for you.
That's awesome. I was looking at it and thinking about the mess that is right now in the front of our Stingray, which we have the exact same one that Jason's holding right now. And I was like, oh, I really need something to organize this, and there you have it.
There you go, exactly.
Thanks so much for your time.
Well, thanks for coming by. Always a pleasure to see you, and have a chat.
Absolutely. Let us know when there's something new. We'll have you on the show. All right.
Thank you.
All right. All right. So there you go. That is, we have been using Electro receivers at NAB for 20 years.
Well, yeah, I was going to say many
And
years.
it all started with, I think I think John Tatulis and I walked up to Carl, and I was like, can I borrow a mic thing? And Carl was like, sure. And it all began there. So it's been great. So
It's really cool.
yeah, so you got a couple comments and questions.
We've got a couple of comics. I can, in Hanover, Germany, says it's working great.
Bo's asking where they are. Bo, I have to apologize. I've been running around, and I told you, like, at 1 o'clock we're going to go live. And
it's a little bit
series of
a little bit later.
unfortunate events. Yeah, exactly.
That's all right.
But we're in the North Hall, Bo, and we're going to be walking around. I don't think we're going to get anywhere else. So if you see us in the North Hall, come on. We'd love to have you get your comments and.
Well, look, do you know what the experience is like coming here? Is that you go to a booth and time just disappears.
Yeah.
So that's what's happened.
Yeah,
exactly. You're experiencing it now as you walk around.
Yeah,
you go
absolutely.
like, oh, squirrel! Go look at this.
Well, and the other thing is that we're trying this new thing. It's turned out to be a little bit of a like it was everything. Every time we do this, we're like, let's do something new, and let's figure this out. Like, let's do something we haven't done before.
Guy says that the 4K 60 is looking great, and he's using AirPods, and the surround sounds great as well. So we did something right.
So just say we talked about it a little bit, but here's what we're doing. We've got a DPA 5100 that is 5 discrete mics, or 6 discrete mics.
It kind of looks like a fluffy triangle.
Yeah.
I was talking to Hashim,
bicycle seat.
trying to do an audio description as we go.
Oh, right. Yeah, exactly. And so now it delivers those down. Now it's got a little, it comes down into the Scorpio, and the Scorpio is, and it's just going straight in as the cable breaks out into XLR.
Into 6 XLRs.
6 XLR channels.
Yep.
Now what I did is I removed 3 and 4, so that's the LFE in the center.
Okay.
And I put these two transmitters, these two Electros, into 3 and 4, and then we bust those to we bust those into channel 3.
3, right.
So that way, if you're listening in a surround, we're always in the center.
It should always be in center, yeah.
But then what we try to do is kind of bring down the background mics, so it's not overwhelming, and hopefully we're gonna figure it out. We are recording all the tracks and recording the video, so if we feel like we could do better, we'll play with it.
Play with it later.
Yeah, later. So
I mean, sometimes you would probably hear, if people have the ability to turn down their center channel, they'd probably hear us just a little bit, right? In left and right.
Well, and the thing is that one of the challenges with ambisonic is that it's kind of in a sphere that's then has to go and be translated and then has to be broken out.
Yep.
The other thing about this is that this pack is it's only routing. It goes to Michigan, but it just simply routes to a Videon encoder. So this is a Videon Edge encoder. And so, which is great. We were just on the laptop, turning everything on, turning YouTube on, turning the video encoder. So it doesn't require John Wallace to go into the office or figure anything else out or whatever.
Or Mickey to get Pro Tools going and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
All that stuff's done.
Yeah.
Now we don't have Mickey on the other end doing Mickey magic.
Final tweaks.
Yeah. So, but we have. But that's what we're doing there.
Okay.
Any other comments?
Well, we got a question from Fred Parr.
Yeah.
And he's saying, did Sony release any new cameras?
They announced some new cameras earlier, so I believe they announced a new really high-end high-end film camera. And I have to admit,
I've walked through there a couple of times through the booth.
You get
there's
lost.
people everywhere. Yeah. Didn't know what to look at.
It's the only one. Sony is the only kickback to the old days. Every booth on this side used to be the size of Sony.
Yeah.
And they've all gotten smaller except for Sony. Sony is like, we're holding the ground. And the one that keeps on growing is Blackmagic.
We had a little play with the FR7 auto tracking.
Is it good?
Version 3 of their firmware, unreal.
When is it coming out?
In the summer.
Okay. All right.
It's really impressive.
Yeah.
So
we're going to wander around.
Yeah.
We're not.
See
we
what
don't.
we see.
We thought it'd be fun
have no plan.
to see what Carl had, but for the most part, we're just going to wander around and look at things. Anything that catches our eye.
Yeah. We saw the
we've walked through this a couple times.
Osmo booth is pretty good.
Let's go play with it. Let's go play with it. Let's go play with that. And that's
so
the 40, the Ronin 40,
yeah,
is kind of amazing. So I picked it up. It's heavier than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
So we grabbed it and I realized why. So we're using a 40 next week on a show, and my operator was like, I really need a ready rig, and I was like, okay, we'll get a ready rig. I was like, oh sure. I just felt like, does he really need a ready rig? And I picked it up and I was like, yes, he does. I was like, this is really fun, but it would not last very long.
Just to
you feel like you have to work out.
Bit.
So this is.
It's kind of a big deal that DJI have split off Osmo, so there's no drones here.
Right.
There's no.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. They're just like, this is all the Osmo stuff.
Our guys to go through a little
Look at that,
hole, yeah. Now the funny thing is that I think always think it's funny.
Pocket 3, no
like,
Pocket 4, right?
Now somehow the batteries stayed inside of the Osmo. Like DJI, no drones with the drones. They're like, and the batteries, they're very pretty batteries. I don't know when I would get one.
Because it's the perfect match for a little Pocket 3, and then if you need lots of power to run for 4 months, you can just
exactly. Let's wander over this way a little bit. So we'll look at these. There's a couple people right now looking at those ones, so we're going to look at some of these. Here. So let's see if we see.
Yeah, those transmitters are super cool as well.
Yeah, we've been working with. So we're actually using. So this is the RS4. And these just keep getting better. It's just I have an RS2, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
And these are the transmitters here. We're using in the show that I'm doing this week. We're doing 2 transmitters on each location. Like what we did. We actually were asked to do the work because of what we did last year.
Yeah, right.
We had this big old rig, and now we're going down to these little transmitters, and because DJI has one where the receiver is this small piece, but it's also one with the screen.
Yeah.
And so we're putting the screen on the return.
Yeah, there's a pro version, or I can't remember what they call it, but it's a more advanced version.
Yeah.
But they're still like these small ones. They still go like 2-3 Ks in the distance.
Yeah.
And then the other one will go like 5 or 6 Ks.
I mean, we did a shoot with these. I was like, I don't know about the DJI stuff, but it might work. We did a shoot in London a couple of weeks ago, and they were like, "It's going to be fine." I'm like, "That is a long walk."
Right.
And I was very worried, and they were like, "No, no, no, we'll be fine."
So there's things in between.
And it
was
just,
fine.
Just fine.
Yeah.
It was just fine. So it was incredible. So I don't know if we're going to get over to the. Oh, well, here you can see.
Oh yeah, the car's cool.
So this
That's
is something
cool.
that I. If any of you are watching, and you wonder, what could I get Alex for Christmas? Yeah, I know that you're thinking about this. This is the. I have wanted this ever since they released it, and I look at it and I go, oh, this would be so amazing. So this is like a gear head, except that it's all digital. So I'm controlling that head there, but it's I can do it
So
nice and
smooth.
smooth, and I can change the speed of it up here, so I can adjust how fast.
Let's just take over
what,
here.
What each. So now it's something.
So nice.
Maybe it suddenly broke. Look at what I can do, and then I break it.
And drop.
Yeah, so you can see it now. This is that screen receiver that I was talking about, and these screen receivers, you can get a version that does SDI out, so you can see it, and then also have it there, and then also it has a little. Let's head back.
Look at that.
Yeah, and so you got to have someone who knows how to do it. But
This has got the roll as well,
yeah,
or as the client calls it, pan.
pan.
There's
Exactly.
3 pans here.
Yeah, 3 pan. Pan up, pan to the side, pan.
Pan over.
Yeah, pan over.
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk.
Exactly.
I'm gonna walk back. We're gonna walk back to the 40. I think we're gonna see if they're gonna let us take a look at it here.
Video and sound, 5 out of 5.
Hey, can we play with that again? Is that on? So it's ready to go. Okay. I'm gonna need your
You need
mic.
extra hand. Okay. You're right.
Yeah,
You got
so-
it.
And I don't know if they like that we call it a chicken head, but we call it a chicken head because of that. So what I've got is it's doing the stabilization. This is really solving the problem that we always have when we're walking, and we're sitting there and you have this little bounce. Everyone talks about, oh, well, the stabilizers are fine, but you got to bounce. And this 40 solves it. And now I have a couple things here. One is I can turn it up and down. I can see, so I'm using my thumb here to make it work here. And then I also, my other thumb over here is focus. So I can focus on it here. Now I can also set it to autofocus with a little hand. There's a lot going on here, so it would take a little while to figure it all out as far as getting good at it, but it is being able to do walkthroughs. I kind of have, oh yeah, so you can see, so if you see it there, you can see how I'm walking, I can move forward, and that head just keeps it super smooth, and then I'm panning up, you got me saying it. So, but tilting up, and I can tilt it to the side, and then you can see me sit there and, set my focus. It's pretty cool. I mean, and I have to admit that, when I saw Adolescence, of course, everyone's talking about it.
Right.
When I saw Adolescence, I went from, this is really cool, to I need to own one of these. So we're renting one and using it for a show next week, but it's on my wish list. So anyway.
And then you had to slide that onto a drone.
Yeah, they
as well,
slid
just
it onto a
walking.
drone.
Yeah.
They put it on a drone. They put it on a drone.
They put it on a drone.
That's all I have to say. They put
Of
it
course
on a
they
drone.
did.
So anyway, but this is what it kind of feels like walking through here. There's something that you want to buy every 10 feet. So any other comments?
Yeah, so it's Ike Potter from Hanover, Germany, saying any news from Sound Devices.
They have their transmitters, so they're over the Astras, and they're just getting much higher density on the Astras.
Okay.
And then they have their own new mic. So the mic it's all built in, and it's doing all of the wireless and everything else built into it.
Wow.
So if you're not looking for this, like a mic plug, and you want a whole thing that does the thing that talks to the thing,
And the onboard record as well.
not in the United States. So there's a little patent.
In Australia, it'd be
issue.
fine.
Yeah. You're like, it's fine. It works great.
Yeah.
I'll send you pictures.
I missed this one. Sorry, like I said, DJI, can you ask if the DJI Mic Mini TX can pair with the DJI Mic 2 receiver?
We're out of there now.
Yeah,
So
we've just left.
If we
but
go back, we'll see if we can.
we might be able to go back and I'll check on that for you. Could check in after
To
hours.
quote Harold and Kumar, we've gone too far. So anyway, one of the things that we're seeing a lot of are these kind of inflatable lights.
Oh yeah.
So this is becoming kind of popular. So these are
Airglow.
This is light gears. Wonder if Brian is here. I don't know where he went. So anyway, we started off last year with Brian. But anyway, so a lot of different companies are building these. These are kind of these inflatable soft lights that are pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Now, we use this is the light mat, and I use these a lot for interviews. So when we do interviews, this is my go-to. I didn't even know that they existed until I hired some gaffer with a truck,
right,
and they brought them in. And I was like, "What is this?" So all of this is an LED mat, and it just attaches to this hard back.
Amazing.
But it just is so easy to pack up, and you just get this huge soft light. It's
and you can
killer.
You can fly with it, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. So
It's very cool.
Any other comments? And if you guys are watching,
Taking a few wireless hits.
Oh, are we?
That's what guy.
We're wandering.
Guy just said.
And are we taking wireless video hits or audio hits?
He just said wireless. We'll
Okay,
find
well,
out.
Let us know. Let us know.
Find out which one it is.
We did test this pretty heavily when we were getting started.
Well, whenever you walk past lead walls and things, right?
Yeah, I mean there is so much going on
Yeah.
here. But yeah, let us know if we're taking mic hits or. This is about the messiest place that you can.
Yeah.
That you can shoot in, and so we generally take some.
It's literally wandering right now.
Sorry?
Literally wandering right now.
Yeah, we're just wandering around like, hey, look at this.
Fenwick was telling me that you can't buy these.
No, you lease them.
Right. He's like,
Yeah,
how
so
much
these
are
so we've used
they?
these
Doesn't
in a
matter
lot.
how much they are.
I mean, this is kind of like, I would say it's like the BMW of a dolly.
Right.
So these are Chapman's, and Chapman makes some arms as well. But this one, it just gives you have so much power. So this is giving you the pressure here, so that you can make this go up nice and slow. And I have never actually operated one of these, but I have hired them and had people bring them and had great people who know what they did make great shots with it. But that's all I have to say. But JL Fisher's been around forever.
So it doesn't matter if you want to buy one because you can't.
You can't. They only lease them.
There you go.
All right, let's wander around a little bit now.
Audio pops.
A little bit of audio pops.
Yeah.
Let us know if it still happened. I think we're getting away from the insane.
All the extra
over
bits
there,
that were
yeah.
going on there.
Yeah. So, and so now this, just so you know, like this is the infamous audio implements.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we use these for everything. Oh, these are new.
This is actually a new.
This is what is this?
This is.
We're gonna ask
Tell
you.
the boss.
Here we go.
This is a wireless earpiece, so it is Bluetooth. Yeah, clips to the back. You use the custom or a universal earpiece, and
Nice.
then you just can hook it to either your laptop or your cell phone, or if it's a component that does not have like a screen on it, you would purchase a dongle that then would allow you to connect.
That's awesome. And how much are these?
This is $490, and then the dongle we are not sure yet because we are still in the process. We're thinking 6 to 8 weeks, and they'll be ready to go. Yep.
That's awesome. And these, I mean, this has been these are the standard. We just ask someone if they've got an earpiece. If they say they have an earpiece, they have an audio implements earpiece. Like that is what we expect. And you're just asking for how many ohms is the only question that we have for it.
And a cord if we need to know if it's mono or stereo, but that's pretty much it. Let me tell you the quick story behind audio. Do you know it?
No, please tell me.
Okay. So Secret Service, the little curly tubes behind their ear, those were created by Audio Implements. They are the first ones. The owner's dad, Walter, was doing hearing aids and came up with this great idea. And so every curly tube you see out there came because of Walter. Not necessarily ours anymore, but Audio Implements is in charge of that one.
It's we always joke that it's like calling the CIA when we call, because we're like, we pick up the phone and you're like, what do you need? And we're like, we need a 343 and a 140, you know, like whatever it is, and then they're like, do you need it in 2 days? Yes. And then
Yes, you got that correct.
it's like a no nonsense, like, you know, and so. Thank you so much. All right, see you later.
Nice.
So yeah, we love audio implements.
Do you know? So this is a good example of like a tiny booth, but a really important, like
everybody
a big
uses
player
them.
in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
But you totally could just walk past it and just miss it altogether.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So the and then you've got supports.
Plenty
Here
of
you have,
supports.
you know, you
Bunch of C stands.
well, it's not just C-stands; it's what you're putting them in.
C stands. Oh,
So
yes.
the big thing
How
is
you
that
move them.
when you start to have a set, and where we end up having a lot of these are in trucks, right?
Mhm.
So you get a truck, and it's going to have one of
Massive
these.
grip track.
One of these is going to be stuck to the side of the truck,
Uh-huh.
and you're going to pull it out, and now you can get everything into the set, everything into your wherever you're loading in. You come out of a grip truck with one of these,
Love it.
and then a lot of them will sit like in the storage area of the of wherever you're keeping everything. But it just means that you're not saying, hey, can you bring 20 C-stands? This is this is 20 C-stands.
Yeah.
That comes out, and then you kind of pick them off as you need them. So it's really useful. These are milk crates, right there. Milk
Do you know?
crates. So
I just haven't had a need for them in my virtual events.
in your virtual events, yeah, exactly.
I haven't needed 20
I have.
C-stands.
Oh man, it's so nice when you get a grip truck because it just comes with all the stuff and all the things come out.
And someone who knows how to use it all.
Yeah. This, by the way, our show is brought to you today by Dynacore because I was missing a cable, and I
Oh,
bought
yeah,
it
you
from
bought
them.
it,
This is
yeah,
where I
yeah,
bought
yeah.
the cables. So we were worried about our battery.
That's so good.
And so we were very happy to be able to buy the battery here.
We have
buy
tried.
buy the connection. So these are.
We have tried other people.
No one would give us one.
no,
No one
that's
would
right.
sell us
We
one except for
couldn't buy
Dynacore.
them.
So I
And
feel
they
like
said yes.
So these are the many options of batteries, and of course these tiny little ones. Those are
98.
a lot of us travel with these ones because that's all we can put on the back. That's all we can check
Take on the plane.
right? But they obviously come with a lot more. So if you really want your camera to last forever, so you get these larger ones here. So that's it's awesome. So anyway,
Hey, that's a cool charger too. I was thinking that was just the display, but it's actually
That's all the charging.
that's a charger.
yeah.
Love it.
It's really great. So it really is
Port keys monitors.
what makes you special.
That's a great question. It's the camera control features. You can control cameras from Sony, Canon, RE, Red, Panasonic.
And when you say control, what are you controlling?
You can control stop and start recording. You can do ISO. You can do aperture. Whatever the camera has in their app will have on the screen of the monitor wirelessly for you to control.
That is so cool.
Awesome, yeah.
How much is this one?
This one,
I just threw it right at her. I was like, ew.
Okay, well, we have two lines. We have the Synform and we have the MoForm, which is the Synform is more of a professional level, and then the MoForm is more of a prosumer level type of product. For example, I can come over here and show you. Another key feature of port keys is the affordability. This is the BM72, which has SDI in, SDI out. It has LIMO for power and also barrel and also proprietary. You can do dual NPF. It has dual monitors, camera control, and this unit is only $799.
That's a really good deal.
Yeah, it's hard to find something like that in the market at that price point.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
You
Take
have a
care.
good one, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
So where are you guys from? So I know who to talk
Office Hours Global.
to. Office hours global.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much.
So this is what happens constantly: is you get people pulling you in,
Yeah.
and sometimes you are less than interested in what they have to say.
And then sometimes,
sometimes
they're
like,
you're
oh,
like,
wow.
oh, that looks good. Yeah.
That's really cool.
When he pulled me in, I was like, do I really want to do this? And I
Yeah,
looked at the
I
monitor. I
know.
was like, well, I'm kind of interested. And it turned out to be great. I'm gonna have to find out more about them.
I got
That's,
pulled into one before. It was asset management of a bunch of gear.
That was
It's
not as.
like,
I don't
most
know if
I've just got it installed in a rack. I don't really need
Yeah.
to manage the maintenance.
How's our audio going? Is our audio getting any
no,
better?
we're
Let us
doing-
know if our audio's getting any better. I think part of it is that I'm
Squirrel.
grabbing onto the transmitter. I think I need to stop
Guy.
doing that.
Squirrel, 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 squirrel.
Exactly. That's what we're not. That's all we're promising here is
Yeah.
squirrels.
So you know what?
This is the squirrel cast. Where we just wander around.
We're going to try to get to DPA.
Which is where's Sony?
So Sony's right here.
Okay.
So we could walk through the Sony booth.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Let's walk through the Sony booth. This Sony booth is, we were talking about it, this is the last
huge.
of the big booths. And
How big was Apple when they were here?
they were like this size.
Were they?
Yeah, it was, and they had this massive stage.
It was before they had stores, though, right? Pretty
It
much.
was.
Yeah.
And then once they got the stores, they were like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need you anymore. So
Yeah, this is huge.
So Sony, this is pretty much all of Sony's broadcasts options. So like we have audio kind of over here. And we're really pushing on Dan here. We've got monitors behind us. Those are color accurate monitors that you can use there. But it is just a
Live production.
massive
Live production over there.
live production.
Bunch
We've
of
got
software stuff.
handheld spatial capture, which I didn't know they did. I'm not going to go over there right now. Later.
Yeah.
We'll
Imaging.
go over there. I said I won't.
News and
kinda wanna
production
see it.
workflows is all here.
Whoa. Now I understand.
Handheld spatial.
So
Oh.
I
missed
don't
that
know.
before.
Yeah, I missed that too. I was like, what?
Yeah.
So check this out. So what they've done there is that this is kind of what this has been around for a long, but these in gaming. A lot of times they're using it for facial capture.
Yes.
And what Sony's done is built a rig for it to be able to put it together. And I guess
That's
that
kind of like what you did with GoPros,
I think
right?
they must be doing
At
it
one
with
point?
Arc-Eye. I think they're partnered with Arc-Eye. I don't think that this is. I don't think it's Sony's. I think it's just they're using a lot of Sony cameras. Sony would love all of us to own one of those, not because they need to sell the metal, but because they would love to sell you
Gotta fill it with
80
cameras.
Yeah, exactly. This is a great way to use 80 cameras.
Exactly.
So, so you have. I mean, it's kind of amazing how many cameras they.
Oh, yeah.
They make, and
And we missed the camera part. That's a bit further down.
yeah.
But, coming out this way,
Well, I
We're
think
gonna-
we can see a little bit of the camera stuff.
we've got to
here.
keep an eye on time for you too, right? You got a plane to catch.
Yeah, I think I'm mostly worried about
The battery?
the battery. So
If it just stops, we
just
ran out of
like,
power.
"Oh, we went too far.
We're gonna
So,
run and grab that DJI
Yeah,
power box.
I realized I really need to get a for the battery. I have a tendency to travel with the 99s, but I really need to get like 300s for these shoots. For the camera.
Right.
That's the main thing. What's the feedback there?
Yeah, it was just like guy saying Electro needs to do some scanning on the channels that we've got here.
Well, I
Maybe.
can change them. Is it hitting constantly, or is it he doesn't tell us?
Frequency scan, dialing the audio transmitters. Don't know.
Right. Yeah. So
I think people are still getting what we're on about.
yeah. So the let's.
I love the
this is-
pool tables as a demo. It's such a cool idea.
Yeah. So one of the big things here is that we're now you have these. It's funny. I told my son, like, we just did a shoot, and we were just kind of hacking it together. And so we did this shoot, and we're like reaching over, grabbing onto the still lens, and I've got a 100-400 Canon. I'm sitting on, hey, how's it going? See it, Scott? Yeah. So so we had and he was like talking about how his arms get, after 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you can put things on handles. He's like, you can put things on handles? And I'm like, and what do they do? And I'm like, zoom and focus. He's like, oh, so we're going to try to get some, but that's what these are here. So you have
they're great.
these rockers here are doing, this is for your zoom, and then this is for your fine focus, and so you can get that there. So a lot of times you've got this big monitor up here, and you're focusing those together. And for those of you who haven't seen a bigger lens, this is medium size broadcast lens. So this is really when you're thinking about football and sports and a lot of stuff, and you need to really reach out and shoot somebody, with video.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's good.
So yeah, this is where the the PTZ control.
Oh, is that where
and
the
that's built
controller's-
into the firmware on a few different models?
Right.
But, sorry, we're particularly interested in the FR7. That's
Oh.
where it was pretty cool. So,
So-
yeah, you'll see the.
There's a lot of interest. That's the challenge here.
Yeah, that's right.
So-
There's some really cool control, and the thing is that it's all just on board with the camera, and so you're just logging into web control into the camera, and setting up the tracking, choosing if you want to do multi people or you're just clicking on one person. You can even, I think it might be the newer version again, where you can upload an image of the person that you want to track.
Right.
And then you can shut down your computer because it's all on board in the
Right.
camera,
Yeah.
which is really nice. It's
great.
not extra hardware.
Wait 1 second. I'm just gonna grab the.
There you go.
I was playing with the antennas.
Fair enough.
Just
It might work.
might work.
Yep.
There's a orientation that I like to have the antennas in. We'll see if it makes any difference. So the
DPA? Which way are they?
we hear that the DPA is this direction.
Okay.
So we're gonna keep.
Very
We're
good.
gonna keep wandering
We'll
down
keep
here.
looking.
It's a little quieter here, but we're off in the distance. You can see a very large. It's not a Technocrane. This is the Scorpio. I think Technocrane's over behind us. Maybe we'll wander over there too. But we're being
can you pick a
guided
difference?
here by. The Technocrane is kind of the standard, but obviously the Scorpio is.
I think something I saw on this one is the way that it could hang,
We literally.
it can
how
lift
did we
the
miss
end
this
of it.
so badly.
so it can
we were like almost
undersling.
there, and then we weren't.
Sorry, it can undersling. I was seeing them. The end of that could hang down,
They should be able to do.
or it can
I
go
think
up the top as well. Like
I think
a,
every jib pretty much underslung or overslung. That's a pretty common.
Alright.
I'm just letting you know. It's
Thanks,
sorry.
thanks, Dad.
I'm just saying it's we're hoping that we're being guided. Oh, here it is. Well, the DPA and wisdom. Okay, I think we're gonna go this way.
okay,
Let's
cool.
go here.
There we go. Very
So,
nice.
Yeah. So we're.
Apparently we've got someone we can
Yeah.
talk
So
to.
we thought we'd come over and show you. This is where it all. So
There it
here's
is.
the mic right there that we're using. Oh, we can now do this.
There's another mic.
This is the sisters here. So we have. This is the. Now we can kind of show it to you a little bit more.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
So this is what you're listening to right now. So that it's right up here over here, and so it's got discrete mics, which we have found makes a big difference over. It makes a big difference over ambisonic.
Yep.
So they just sound very. I mean, hopefully you hear it. For those of you who were listening to it,
That's right.
and it's just a nice, clean sound. But that's what this mic looks like. It's got a little. Whoop, I dropped it. There you go. It's not connected in there, but you can see it there, sitting there. So. And
Yeah, I
then-
think like Guy was saying that, it could do with a little bit of tweaking just as far when we step away, right? Hopefully that's what you're feeling is a bit
Right.
more of a sense of being here.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's
Yeah.
the goal. So.
Yeah.
So it's.
While still having a clean sound from us. So.
Yeah. So. Anyway, they make a lot of things that we use pretty heavily. So these are the DPA 6066 is they're kind of a mess. Can you pick that bottom one up there? I kind of lost it there. Whoop. Pull these back up again.
There we go.
But these little headsets are ones that, and I have to admit, I have a tan one, but I really prefer gray. Black.
But yes.
Like we're not trying to figure this out.
Yep.
It's just a black headset. We're not trying to hide it. We're not
Nope.
trying to. So that's usually
Everyone
my preference
uses it.
there. Yeah.
Do you know the problem that we hit a little bit with these is when they come underslung, like when it's under here, that people that wear earrings are ticking on it, right? And
Yeah.
they don't want to lose their earrings. And so going over the top tends to work better. But, we were talking to them before about this particular issue, and they were even suggesting like hair mic, right?
So one of the things we've done also, if someone's wearing glasses, we'll run a DPA right on the inside
yeah.
rib right of the glasses, and it actually works pretty well.
And take the frame off, like as in just using the mic directly.
No, the mic is we attach the mic to the inside of the frame.
Yeah,
of
that's
the
what I mean.
glasses.
So you lose this all
Oh
together.
yeah, that whole thing.
Yeah,
we just run it up
and
there.
just
We
stick
run
it-
run through their hair.
That's cool.
And come down there, and we were surprised at how well it worked.
So
Omni.
If the next time you see me I'm wearing glasses, you will know what that's about. I've suddenly got
Yeah, exactly. so let's keep walking.
a fancy
Keep
way of getting the microphone working.
Deity.
Okay.
So this is so these guys obviously make a lot of different
Fancy
a lot of different
mics.
Mics. It's kind of, I find Deity's kind of like halfway in between. You know, they're not in the kind of the lower end mics, but they're not Electros or.
So they're just transmission though, right? They're not mics themselves.
No, I don't think they make mics. I think
No.
it's just transmission.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So the
Very good.
let's keep walking. Yeah, this is one of the challenges, by the way. NAB is probably the most complex place to use wireless mics.
Yeah.
You know that you can, you know, because it's just so many there's so what we're walking through. Whoa.
Yeah, we've got a power robot.
Got a robot. Stand by. There's a robot.
Everyone stop. That's cool.
I don't even know what it. I don't even. No.
Well,
What is this? What is this for?
It's like a UPS.
Hold on.
Yeah, look at the other side. There you go.
Whoa. Okay, you gotta see the bottom here. So someone says, "Hey, can you send the power station over?" Now, and this is a big battery.
This is a big battery. This is a 4.2 kilowatt hour battery pack with a 3,000 watt inverter. Now, you're actually just a couple feet away from my big brother of this one.
Oh,
Let's go see it.
let's see that.
Where is it? See,
And
this is how you get someone to cover you live.
And you can
just
you
have a
can
robot.
tow something with it with a hitch.
So this one you can tow up to 600 pounds.
So you said
Wow.
say that you can.
So this one you can tow up to 600 pounds. The tongue weight is 200.
What would you normally tow?
So we have different applications depending on the industry. So agriculture, they've been pulling picking baskets. Here in the movie industry, they've been using it for just general grip work. So throwing all their tools, throwing all their materials,
Wow.
things like that.
That's awesome.
That's
very,
cool.
Very cool.
Apparently this is smaller. Oh wow.
Wow. Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now here's another example of us walking straight past this.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. We were like, yeah.
We
there's
just
a big-
walked
there's a
past
big-
it and we didn't see it
There's
at
a big
all.
crane. Okay.
I was too busy telling
There's
Alex
a
about
tank.
how the jib works.
It's a power tank.
Our power tank. So this is a 94 kilowatt hour unit. So basically,
I can power my house.
power your whole house. The average U.S. home uses 30 kilowatts. 30 kilowatt hours. This is 94. Power your house for 3 days straight.
And silent, right?
Right.
18 kilowatt inverter. So basically,
How long does it take to charge up?
it all depends. So if you want to use the wall and plug it in from the grid, it takes about 9 hours to charge. You can also.
And that's with 120 volt.
That's actually with the 240 volt.
240, yeah.
Okay, so 240.
120 at 20 amps. It's gonna take forever.
So long.
You're gonna be there for a good month.
You put like an EV charger on it where you could just plug an EV. Oh,
Now he's just showing off.
here's Grant trying to be smart, and then he's like,
He's like,
yeah.
I'm gonna throw it on. But do you need a license to take it on the road?
Oh, that's cool.
You don't actually. Right now, it's technically not an EV vehicle, so you can actually use it. It's typically a generator. That's what it is. It's an electric solar generator.
You get pulled over driving this down the road. How do you explain this to a cop?
Hey, I'm just trying to power my home. Leave me alone.
So, okay, so you can tow this and it can tow. Is that
That's
right?
correct. So this unit right here has a towing capacity of 4,500 pounds. So you can basically tow an average sized vehicle or an actual trailer. We actually sell it with a solar trailer, so it has the solar panels on top. So you deploy this unit, hook up the solar trailer to it, move it wherever you need it, and you got instant power.
Super cool.
And it's funny because I was thinking, like, why would you need this? But exactly what you said. I need to get it to a certain place, and I don't want to. And it's just like you're just doing a remote control, right?
So it has a remote control that has a range of about 300 feet. The mini one that we were just looking at before, that one has a range of 100 feet. We're going to be moving to autonomy very soon. The reason why we didn't start out with autonomy is, as you can tell, when you go autonomous, the price goes way up out of a lot of people's reach. So
Yeah.
we want to make sure it's accessible to anybody, anywhere from agriculture to movie business to construction. We want to make it as easy as you can to get your hands on one of these.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
It's really cool.
That was
Thanks.
fun. and again, what you see when we just kind of
Don't
wander
trip over
aimlessly,
it. Look out. Oh.
and wandering aimlessly, just kind of looking around to see what's available. So the
Totally.
yeah, so more batteries.
Lots
So you
of
can see
batteries.
batteries are important, and again, I think we need to get.
98.
We're going to get some bigger ones that will ship here or something and get ahead of them.
Yeah.
We'll send them to Peter. So we'll send them to Peter, and then he can just keep them in his house as the biggest one. Oh, so here's the Ronin
hang on.
head.
So that doesn't overhang, right?
You could do over.
Really?
You just change it.
Spin the whole thing?
Spin the whole thing. Yeah.
But you can't just
You wouldn't
do it
want
remotely.
to. You wouldn't want to.
So that's what I saw in that big one. Is it?
Oh,
when-
it does it remotely?
Yeah.
Oh, you're like, I saw something new. Yeah. Okay. It rotating remotely. I've never seen before.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it was over,
And then it
hanging,
spun.
and then it spun down, and then it, yeah.
Okay. Well, that
All
was-
right.
He's
I've
like,
got-
I got you.
I've got my credibility back. Maybe.
This is on top of everything else. What one of the fun things is that you get just buttons. If you want to buy a button, you've got buttons
That's
here.
right. Time on.
So these aren't going to anything. I don't think. It's just probably someone's gonna jump into Mukana from Germany and say stop. Stop pushing that button. No, that one's okay.
Oh, is this like the flamethrower story where you just press a button and the flamethrowers
We didn't
go on
push
the
a button.
stage?
That was all done by
it's
Anna.
online.
So, but you think about all these. No one's making their own buttons. They're buying buttons, and
Yeah.
these are the buttons that they're buying. So,
Some
so
cool
anyway,
ones
it's really
there.
really cool. I always walk by and go, oh, look at this, and I send people over to these guys because I don't like the buttons to make noise when I click on them.
Yeah.
And then when people say that there's not any soft buttons, I'm like, you have to go over and
So
push some of the soft buttons.
So we were talking to Elgato about the Stream Deck, exactly about this, right?
Not enough
Because
travel.
Not enough travel, but what we were talking about was the false hits that you get.
Yeah.
And the
But
challenge.
that's because there's not enough travel.
Well, what they said is that they're.
You're not holding it right.
How about I just speak, and then you won't need to ask any questions. So they're doing a scissor, a scissor, which means that even if you hit the corner of the button,
Right.
it'll still do the full
Right.
full travel, right? But the travel is actually less. Now I said, okay, we would really like
More
a
travel.
very obvious,
Yeah.
big travel button.
Yeah.
And there was talk about that. And what was interesting too is talking to the buttons, like bit.
You were talking to the
Focus.
buttons? What did they say?
I was talking to these ones. They're more colourful. So Bit Focus buttons
Yeah.
as the product.
Yeah.
They are supporting. They will be supporting other button systems
Right,
other
right.
than Elgato, and
Right.
a bit more
button.
production.
Yeah.
Ready or
Right.
standard buttons. So there you go.
Travel.
Here you go.
It's
You're
all
learning
about travel.
buttons and travel.
Now this is the big game. These are the techno cranes. No, they don't. They don't spin over. I don't think. This one's pretty fun here. But this is you can see now. This is the 48 here. I'll show you this one. This one's 48 feet.
That's cool.
So if you're wondering, that's just weight. So this is just weight up here, because there's so much weight. There's so much being extended out to make it. And what they do is they balance it so that it's light as a feather, to move it around. So they're able to move this around and control the camera. They can see what they're doing here. I asked a jib operator. I was like, "How do you know when you're good at it?" They said, "You can chase a chicken. Like let a chicken go." And I said, "You ever do it?" He goes, "Yeah, we've done it. We've done it. We let the chicken go, and you try to keep it in. It's running around, and you're trying to keep control of it and stuff like that." And so, anyway, but what's cool about these? They're not just jibs; they extend out. So what that means is now you can do a move, and they'll actually you can go through a window.
Yeah, window. Yeah. Push
Yeah,
into
and you
a
can
window.
so you can be going up and then out, and there's a lot more. And I think
Love it.
the longest one that I know of is a 75 foot. Because I was telling a friend of mine that I was like, "Oh, I'm really excited about the Ronin 40. What are you working on?" And he sent me a picture of running a 75 foot. And I was like, "Okay, now, okay, it's kind of cool. It's kind of
Ronin's
cool.
cool as well.
Yeah, it's okay."
So Aaron said Stream Decks aren't buttons, they're screens.
There's screens,
Yeah,
right?
which is totally true. And that's actually something I said to them too, was I was like, I know it's a screen, and so a normal production button is not a screen, And so
Right.
maybe it has to have like a scribble strip or something underneath it
Right.
to work in with other things. So
Right. No, absolutely.
I love this as well. Jeff Ely saying, any chance this will be broadcasted on OH radio? And John Wallace, 0%.
So one of the things that just to kind of talk about that for a second, we're basically the reason it's not on audio is because we've kind of short-circuited the whole system. One of the things I wanted to do is know that we could go live,
Yeah.
and not have to encumber the entire team to come in. I mean, so can we just go live and can we just do this? We've got Makana. The next step, by the way, is the little video encoder that we're using, the Edge Max. And just so you know what the pipeline is here, we've got the audio here, and so we got camera. It's going through a embedder, and so that's an AJA embedder. One of the big things, you won't be able to see the embedder, but there's the. So we've got a Scorpio getting all of the channels. That Scorpio is delivering the audio channels to the embedder, and then it is that embedder is coming back to the live view. The live view can take up to 8 channels, and so we have plenty of channels there. And then what we're doing is basically we're sending that to Michigan, but John doesn't have to go in because we just have it routed from the live view receiver to the Videon encoder.
So is there no way to live stream directly from the live view,
So there is.
but not with the
So
audio?
live view has its own infrastructure to do this.
Yeah, okay.
And you can do it in the cloud.
Because it's got to bond back again, right, first.
Well, it could. No, but they can do it in the cloud, and they can have that. The reason that we wanted to do it this way is because we want to be able to add other things into it if we wanted to,
Yep.
right? And so we wanted to be able to have it on the hardware on the other
Do
side.
some talk
But
back
they have
or-
a ton of features. They have an entire LiveView has an entire editing package that's just in the cloud.
Right.
So you can have multiple live views, or you can take all 4 inputs from these live views, get them into the cloud, and just start cutting. Up in the cloud with graphics and everything else. So they've got a lot of other tools that we don't use right now. Maybe we should.
It seems like a bunch of companies are doing this now, like the cloud production stuff. And so we see the ATEM.
We've been talking about when are they going to put something in the cloud, and they kind of did it all the way.
Grant couldn't have been more just kind of matter of fact about it. Just
Yeah.
oh yeah, ATEM in the cloud, and you just send these encoders
I
up
think
to the cloud. And
the real third rail there to talk about is that, so you put it in the cloud, that means it's all running in software. Why can't we just have software? Why can't on my Mac Mini,
right.
I can
Run
just
an
run an ATEM? And I know they're a
Would you
hardware
prefer
company. No, it's
the
just,
use
I
case?
think that I'm just surprised they haven't done it.
Fair enough.
I don't really need it. I would use Mimo. I mean, I'm using Mimo Live for my software stuff right now on my Mac.
Yeah.
So I don't think I would need it, but I'm just surprised they haven't done it.
Yeah, I think sync is one thing I think about, is how they're
Right.
managing that from multiple locations. And then
Right.
also just remote contributors. So
Right. Well,
some
and
sort
what's-
of WebRTC
And
or something.
What's really interesting about Blackmagic now is that a lot of these cameras are supporting SRT.
Yeah.
So now you're talking about being able to we're not in the Blackmagic booth, and we're not going to get over there today
No,
because it is
further away.
so far away.
Yeah.
So we're just wanting to give you a taste of NAB, but and you can see Grant's video. So, but because all these cameras
Not my
are,
video.
yeah, the other Grant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the
The other Australian.
Yeah, the other Australian Grant. Yeah, this is funny.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so I think that that it's interesting that they now have the cameras able to do direct
SRT, yeah.
to something in the cloud.
Yeah.
And then they're able to edit it, and you can have graphic. I mean, and right now it's 4 in, but there's no limit in the cloud. So I think that it's.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what did you think of the decoders, the decoder boxes, and going through Blackmagic Cloud
Right.
to be able to route, like a camera
Right.
through and then out of a decoder, and there it is.
The interesting thing is a lot of people don't make those decoders, to just spit out STI. And so I think that it's interesting. I kind of feel like they're a little slow to the gate, but they might actually build something that's truly frightening.
Might win.
Yeah.
What about the discrete XLR? The 12 channels of
So
XLR, right?
it was funny. I have had the problem of having to get 5.1 out of an SDI into an analog out of an SDI
in
signal.
recent days.
In like 2 weeks ago, I spent a day researching this, and it is hard. Like, it is hard to find something cost effective. For $7.95, that is the best deal on the planet.
So HDMI, sure, like there's a few options in HDMI.
Yeah, not really.
Okay.
Not HDMI to analog out.
Right.
So there's ARC. There's
Yeah.
when you get HDMI, you're talking about like AVRs. So you can get an AVR that has XLR
has
out.
you're right.
Denon makes one. A couple other people make them.
Monoprice has one.
But they're all like $5,000 or whatever.
Right.
And so that there's still nothing. I don't think there's a single thing
Just as a
at
box.
$7.95 or lower, or even under $1,000 that does 10 channels. Not a single thing. Like,
Yeah.
it definitely solves. And what 10 channels means is 514.
Yeah, nice.
So that's what you're gonna get out of it. Man, it's really hard to hear the difference between 514 and 714 in my
Right.
opinion. I mean, I
Yeah.
can. Like, you get these two back speakers. I've got a 7.1. I don't have a 714. I've got a 7.1 at home, and you hear them every once in a while back there, but it's not a big. It's the 5.1 and then the 514 really puts you in a great space. I will say, in the 916, you can tell the difference. So the 714, I don't.
Right.
916, you're like, okay, this is what I need.
But it was also, it's not just surround application either, right? Like it's just discrete channels.
It's just discrete, yeah.
So now you got multi-languages
Yeah.
or whatever it is, and now
Exactly.
just here we can spit them all out.
Yeah. Very cool. We
We're gonna
are
wrap it.
taking it as far as we're going to go
All right.
today.
We came
this is
to this dead end.
I know, we just found a quiet place for us to do it.
We stopped.
So let us know what you think. This was like a little, we thought it would be a fun little taste. It was a kind of just a walkabout. We didn't show you everything. We just saw, this is what it feels like to walk through and talk to your friends and see it and figure out. Let us know what you think of the surround mic. And we'll hopefully be able to do this again soon.
Now we know what's causing the audio issues. Jonas must have been the power wagon that was standing next to.
What were we standing next to? I wouldn't be
You
surprised.
see that robot that walks here, goes past
Yeah.
us. Can't hear a thing. And TJ was just asking what was the manufacturer of that battery wagon. Do you know what? I'm going to have to go
maybe
back
we'll see it in the
and
video. Yeah, we'll have
Yeah,
to
we'll go
find
back
that.
in the video. You will see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So but it's pretty cool.
Can rewind back.
Yeah. There's so many people here doing transmission. We've never had a perfectly clean NAB without wired cables
Right.
because there's so much transmission, and then you're walking against things that are tons of RF, and it just hasn't ever happened.
Well, so cellular seems to be working pretty well. So
Yeah.
better than Wi-Fi and everything else.
We'll just call it in.
So we were doing after hours, and we had 3 or 4 of us in after hours, and it was working really well. So over the next couple of days, just keep an eye on
Yeah.
after hours. Just hang out in there, because chances are we're going to jump in and walk around, and you can talk to us and ask questions and whatever. So after hours is the place to be.
Sounds good.
Thanks for making this happen, Alex.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Thanks to the whole team. We've had so Dan Sweeney has been doing the camera. Jason Bache has been. I think he's looking like we need to.
I'm power stancing, Alex.
Yeah, exactly. So Jason has
Everyone
got,
just
like,
went,
Can
"Who
we
said that?"
did we turn around and show Jason in his crazy rig there?
People were just
Loria.
like, someone spoke from me from behind.
Loria, so good to see you. Yeah, it's good to see you. Have you seen anything?
I just got here. I've been talking to people. I did see the Aperture and Amaran booth. So that was, the Amaran stuff, the new panels, nice. Have you seen them?
You're building a studio right now.
I am. I just moved and building
It's good
a
timing.
3-set studio in one room. So that'll be fun. Just or just put more cameras in.
So it's good to see you.
What was your favorite thing?
Oh.
I think actually getting to pick up the DJI 40 and run around with it a little bit was I need one.
They let you loose with that?
I was like, can I pick it up? And I think they thought I was just going to pick it up, and then I picked it up and started wandering around the booth, and I think they were kind of following me like, I don't think that's what we meant.
It's only 4 of you following, 4 of them following you around.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Like tackle. That would have made good video though.
It's a great video.
So I think that's been. We're about to use one of those for a job next week, and we're super excited about it.
Yes, that'll be awesome.
Good seeing you. Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
we're just closing up. We're just closing up. So
You can do it.
Yes.
You can do a benediction for us.
so the let's go back to Jason here, so we can kind of show you, give you a little tour here. So this is, again, we have the mic up here. So there's the mic here, and then here you can see our little transmitters that keep on getting kind of caught in there. Yeah. And so we have the transmitters here, and maybe we put them up on your shoulders next time or something like that. I think that might be some of the stuff that's right here. And then the and then we have a little more slack there, and then we got a lot of cables in here. Scorpio, we've got the backpack on the back, so we're constantly figuring it out, pushing the envelope there.
Should we try to finish just by talking into that mic?
Yeah.
We can just say, so we're talking now.
Hi, we're all around you. We're all around you.
Now you're in the middle of us. Now we're behind you.
Don't listen to Chris Benwick. Don't listen to.
Now we're in.
He's crazy.
This is the right
He's
channel.
crazy. Yeah. So anyway, so there you go. We'll see what that sounds like. There's a whole bunch of people with headsets that are like.
Oh, they're not going to hear you.
There's a whole bunch of people with those headsets going, "What is going on?
What is happening?" Yeah, they're in my head.
Anyway.
All right.
See you, everybody.
Thanks,
We're just gonna kind of. Hey, CJ, bring over the thing here. We're gonna grab onto the.
Oh, we're gonna do a
See,
live
look at this.
shutdown?
Yeah, we're gonna do like. So we're just gonna be here,
And then we're not going to be here.
and then we're not gonna be here. So I'm gonna end the stream.
And
Bye.
bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Okay.